Yo, 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 yo. All right, that sounded honestly like a rap song. I can't start this podcast off like that. But what is going on, everybody? It is another Keeping It Real podcast with your boy Luke Vaughn. Another solo podcast. All right, I'll start off this podcast very quickly by saying, number one, thank you for listening. If you are listening, what's going on? This is my this is my third podcast. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, what's going on? If you're watching on YouTube and you don't want to watch on YouTube, you can listen on Apple Podcasts. But yes, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Podbean, and I think that's it right now. Hopefully, we get maybe on Spotify and stuff soon. But this is the Keeping It Real podcast with your host, with your boy Luke Vaughn. How's everybody doing? How's everybody going? It's Monday. Monday, we're feeling good. It sounds like Corona is getting the hell out of here. Hopefully, next few weeks are going to be the real marker. But I'm not talking about no Corona. I'm sure everybody's sick and tired of that. I have nothing better to say. So, everybody, what is going on? How's everybody doing? Like I said, I'll be dropping a podcast every basically Tuesday morning and every Saturday morning. So if you guys want to stay prepared, mark it on your calendar. Tuesday and Saturday, podcast getting dropped. If you want to check out my Instagram, I post some clips. I post some, previews and stuff like that. Boom, Keeping It Real podcast, Instagram right here if you guys want to go check me out. But that's it. What's going on, guys? How's everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. Hope all is well. Hope we're working out. Hope we're getting healthy. Got to start this podcast off with some motivation right now. Like I said in my previous podcasts, I'm definitely going to be trying to, if you can't already tell, this kind of podcast studio that I made is specifically built for two people. Another person to join me on this side. I will be having another boomstick and another microphone on that side. But for now, with the whole Corona Bona, I'm just doing this by myself, trying to make things happen, trying to get this podcast going, trying to put some work into this podcast while I can, while things are still flustered in the air. So I'm trying to put some work in. But just take into consideration, please. I will be interviewing people, talking to people constantly, picking their brains, picking their minds. What the hell are they doing? What are they thinking? I'm going to figure it out, get to the bottom of it. But we're also keeping it real. No cap. Might smell some capping. Dude, if I'm like interviewing someone or talking to someone and they're capping, I'm not going to be trying. I won't ever try to really argue with someone. But because that's just weird. We can't argue and then we're recording a podcast and stuff. That's just awkward. But like if someone's like lying to me about some stuff, like I'll question them. So just know, if you're ever watching this podcast or listening, you're like, man, this person that Luke is talking to literally doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's lying or something like that. I'm going to be trying to put my feelers out, but yeah, I'm not going to have anybody on that's going to not provide any cool information. Anybody that is doing something cool, doing something interesting, doing something that is worthwhile listening, I will try to have them on the podcast if I can meet them and stuff like that, if they're willing. So yeah, this is like I said, a platform for me to express myself, figure out what the hell's going on in the world, and try to pick people's brains, try to meet people, talk to people, put people's perspectives out in the world, because there are a lot of cool people, there are a lot of interesting people that do a lot of interesting different things, and might as well try to figure it out and try to get to the bottom of it. While you're doing that, let me figure it out. But guys, Keep It Real podcast. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. Like I said, I had to drop some motivation this morning. I have some things I want to talk about, just to get this podcast started off. For myself, I can just talk about, my experiences and stuff like that. From the standpoint of running, I like to run. If anybody is a runner too, drop in the comments what you like to run. If you're a runner, you like to run trails, you like to run mountains, you like to run track, you like to run road, you like to run marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks. What do you like to run? Please let me know. I'm always down to talk and pick your brain and whatever it is. But personally, I like distance. Just right off the bat, I tried to become like, a distance runner for fun, for my own personal freedom. Like I said in one of my other podcasts, I fell in love with running because it was something that left me alone in a good mind space, good head space, I guess you could say. Good mindset. It would put me in a good mood. burn a lot of calories, burn a lot of energy, a lot of excess energy, all this, anxiety in the world that this modern 2020 America offers us. Yeah, I like to run it off. So I'm sure some people are going through the same thing or similar things. Personally for me, it's a part of my routine and my exercise. I found that I'm not in a rut. I don't want to say I'm in a rut, but I'm doing the same shit. I'm doing the same shit, and doing the same thing can be good. It can be really good, especially from where I was in a headspace mindset point of view. Where I was just, weak, boring, going to work every day, same old shit, never really thinking about anything, thinking I was thinking about things, but I really wasn't thinking about things. There's a difference. There comes a transition with that too, and really start diving into myself and figuring out, who am I? What am I about? What makes me tick? What makes me happy? What goals do I want to set? What dreams am I trying to chase? What assessment am I trying to make of myself? Who am I? What's going on? And I tried figuring that out, and running in a way, I guess helped me figure that out. I spoke before. I ran a marathon. I ran the New York City Marathon last year. So that was like my first marathon. That was like my first really big challenge that I set for myself, that in all reality, I didn't really win anything. I got a medal and stuff, I had to take the train home and stuff like that. It's not like I ran a marathon and the world was given to me. That's kind of what you think you're training for. You're like, I'm going to cross that finish line and the stars are going to shine on me and everything. It doesn't happen like that. You kind of just cross the finish line and you're like, oh shit, dude. Oh, all that visualization set me up for, I was ready for this. I've been thinking about this every day for months now. Of course, I crossed the finish line and here I am. So that was an experience that I had after I, thought I put a marathon on such a high pedestal. I trained really hard for it. I went through some injuries that almost made me stop running and stuff like that. So I had to figure out what the hell I was doing. But I finally ran it, and I proved to myself, I could run it. That's a big confidence booster. Reaching your goal. That was the biggest thing. Was like I said, I didn't get a trophy. I did get a medal, which is cool. But I didn't really get a trophy. I didn't win the lottery after I won. I didn't get anything cool really given to me, handed to me. But for myself though, I proved to myself that I could do it. I proved to myself that all the hard work, all the freaking days that I didn't want to, the times I couldn't hang out with people, the days I was like, shit, bro, am I going to be able to run 26? 26 is far. Am I going to have to quit or something like that? All them days of work finally paid off. And it was very satisfying. Same thing with first time going to the gym. You spend a few weeks at the gym and then you finally, look at yourself after maybe a few days of not looking at yourself, whatever it may be. And you're like, oh, I look a little different. Or you actually do a comparison picture before and after. And you really do see muscle definition. That really just gives you the confidence. You don't need anything else. It's mindset. That's all you need is to feed your mindset. That's the trophy that's given, is the mindset trophy. And then boom, you give yourself that confidence. And that's where a lot of people struggle, is the starting. Now that I'm, I don't want to say here, but now that I proved to myself that I will consistently run, I will consistently exercise. Now I'm at a point, and it took me 8-9 months to prove to myself that am I really going to exercise every day and make it a life, my life routine, exercise, fitness, health? Am I really going to do that? I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know if I was going to do that. I didn't have the confidence in myself that I was going to be able to do that. I'm now kind of starting to come to a point after basically 6 to 8, 9 months of, working out every single day, running basically every single day, eating predominantly very high nutrient foods and, not really processed, refined carbs, refined sugar, all that stuff. really don't eat much of that stuff. And I finally proved to myself that like, oh yeah, all right, I can keep doing this. So now I'm at a point of I have to grow now, right? So, but the hardest part is to get there, right? So I'm trying to talk a little bit to the people that have yet maybe to start or fully have that confidence that they can fucking do it, like, because you can. First off, you can, because I mean, I can. I'm just a freaking goofball making this video, literally talking to a camera inside of a microphone and hoping that this video comes out good. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing more than that. But like, at the end of the day, like, I gave myself the confidence that, you know, I do put in time, you know, try to talk about, you know, try to figure out what I'm going to talk about. So now I do have some things to talk about. So I do have some confidence coming into the microphone and trying to give a podcast and like, all right, this is what I'm going to talk about. But it takes time. It takes months. It takes a lot of deep effort into yourself, deep thought into yourself. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of looking in the mirror and soul searching and figuring out, who the hell am I? Like, what am I about? And for the most part, you know, like, sitting at a bullshit job is not going to help you do that. You know, I understand people, you know, got to do, trust me, firsthand experience. I know working BS jobs just because, I mean, you got to make some money. You got to do some shit. You know, we're all in it together. I hear you, but you got to make a transition in your mindset that the skills that you're learning, like that's a big thing that I wanted to do too. Is like, I'm not making any money from this podcast, but at the end of the day, I do want to have a high quality podcast and I want to work on my podcast and stuff like that. So, I mean, I have to just make a podcast. Like, not, you know, I got to make a podcast and just work on my podcast. Like, I can't keep trying to play my chips, keep trying to figure out, well, if I wait 2 more months and just have all this material ready, I can have 500 podcasts ready to go and I can talk and not have to waste. You're never going to have a perfect plan. The man with the plan does not exist, bro. The man with the plan is a myth. It's not real. Nobody has a plan. And that's a big thing that you have to get into your mind too. Is like, that's one thing that I learned at college, my first year at Rowan. Like, these old people, not just old people, you know, if you're old, like, hey, I'm not old. Nah, but like, people that when you're young and in high school and stuff like that, you think that these teachers, these old people, these parents, they got it figured out. They know what they're doing. You know, they know what they're doing. They don't know shit, you know, and not saying, you know, hating on teachers or parents or what. Nobody knows. I don't know. The smartest guy in the world, he might be smart. You ever talk to a really book smart person, but the freaking, ever see him cross the street? Like, bro, you don't know how to cross the street? It's cool. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Like, some people are just smart in different things. Like, people's brains work differently. People are different. Like, but at the end of the day, people are stupid. Not everybody's a genius. Not everybody's really smart. Not everybody's a hard worker. You have to apply. You have to apply hard work. You gotta do something you want to do. You gotta do something you want to do. Like I said in my other video, I run because I kind of like running, and I've gotten to a point where I started getting a little bit better at running. And I kind of like running a little bit more now. So now I'm feeding what I'm kind of good at, what I kind of like, and I exercise around that. And that helps me think, that helps me clear my mind, because it's hard. Let's be real. Running is not something that's easy. You know, a lot of people don't like to run because it's not easy. I see a lot of people riding bikes. You know, people still out of shape riding bikes every day. Come on, man. The bike's too easy. Also, like I said in my other podcast, people get hit by cars on bikes. People fly off bikes. I'm scared of a bike. But honestly, running's not easy. Running's not easy. It's not fun to wake up, you know, run 3, 4, 5 miles and then, shit. You know, like, my legs hurt. I'm tired. I'm sweating. Music's bored of this music already. But you got to find it. You got to weigh your options. What do you want to do? And also, you got to learn about the whole, like, serotonin and the happiness, because like a lot of people are chasing happiness. It's like, what are you chasing, bro? Like, I just want to be happy. Let me sip my cough. Hold on. Some black coffee. Can't go wrong with that. But a lot of people are chasing happiness, and that's what I found myself. That's a big part of me going to the gym and making this podcast and trying to interact with people and starting a YouTube, is that whole, I was on a journey to find happiness, right? And I'm still, I guess you could say, I'm still on the journey to find happiness and find myself. And I mean, I've come to realize that it's a never ending journey. Like life is suffer. Life is not happy. Happiness is not a sustainable feeling. Like you cannot be happy at all times of the day. That's a bullshit utopia. That's not reality. Life's fucking hard. You know, for everybody. Everybody's got different positions. Everybody's start line in life is different. But life's not easy. Like literally life, like life itself is suffer. Like it's suffering. It's hard. It's not easy. You know, you get up in the morning and you want to go fishing. That's fine. Well, you got to start your car and you got to be in the cold. Like the littlest things, that's the suffering. And then in the overall aspect of now we can't leave our crib because there's a freaking virus that's trying to kill humankind. You know, like shit, like life is hard. Life's not easy. Going to work's not easy. Trying to make a buck's not easy. Like trying to get some goddamn people to listen to this fucking podcast is not easy. Like it's not fucking easy. But I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So, I mean, nobody's going to do it for me. No one's going to feed me the spoon. No one's going to give me the fucking recipe. Nobody has the recipe. That's the problem. Nobody has the answers. You can search, and you got to go searching for the answers. And you come to find that there's no fucking answers. So you just got to keep searching. That's what life is, the constant search. That's why I got to set this other goal to run a marathon faster. Because, like, what else am I going to do? In all reality, what am I going to do? Some BS. I'm going to make up some excuse. Life is just imaginative things. We imaginate, money. So we think, fuck, we got to go make money and go to college and shit like that. It's so funny. I'm telling you, this book, Sapiens, really opened my eyes to the imaginative part. That was a pretty cool chapter in the book. I think it was a chapter. But yeah, like no one's gonna, and also nobody knows what you want to do. Nobody knows what you want to do. And for God's sakes, you don't know what you want to do. Nobody knows what they want to do. Nobody knows what you want to do, and nobody even knows what the fuck they want to do. So how in God's name are you going to take their advice about some shit that you want to do? Your life, your future, everything that your goals, your journey, your career. You're going to listen to someone else that literally doesn't even know what the fuck they want to do with themselves? That's why I had to take a step back, because I was like, and every human being, you hop on social media, you start judging people right away. Oh, he's doing this, she's doing that. Like, I hate when I catch myself doing that. That's why I had to get off social media. Like, I only try to go on social media to get people to try to watch my podcast, try to get people to see vlogs and stuff like that, try to, provide social media with a product. I'm trying to do that. But at the end of the day, like, it's just, you got to get it yourself. Only you can figure out what you want to do. Not even your parents know what you want to do. No, they don't. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't know that I wanted to be a freaking podcaster. I don't know that I want to be a podcaster. But I like this. This is good. I don't know. I'm young, but like I have to follow my intuition, like, because that's what's gonna keep me going. Like, keep listening to people about shit that I don't want to do in my life, that meanwhile they're doing shit that they don't want to do. A lot of these people have jobs and their careers 20, 30 years in a job that they don't want to fucking do. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I have to make it happen myself though. You got to make it, there comes a point in time where you gotta go get that bag like it's Santa Claus, man. You gotta go crawl up in someone's chimney. You gotta go take their Christmas tree. Nah. Don't do that. You'll probably end up in jail. That's a bad idea. But seriously, no one's gonna feed you that food. No one's gonna feed you it with a freaking silver spoon, a gold spoon. You think someone's gonna come knocking at your door? Here's all the answers. Here's the book. You don't even have to read it. I'll just smack you in the head and now you understand all the shit. It doesn't work like that. Okay. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. That's what this guy Nick Bear always says. And it's such a simple phrase. It's so simple. Everybody says it. Not just Nick Bear. Everybody says it. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. So now you have to realize that and put yourself in a position. Life's not easy, period. Put yourself in a position to understand that and attack that shit on some David Goggins shit, yo. That's what you got to have that fire. You got to have that fire because someone else has that fire. Someone else has that fire and someone else is going to apply that fire where you're not burning it and they're going to burn your shit down, bro. And that's life. That is life for real. But let me not not harp too hard. You know, you guys are probably in your seat like, what the hell is he talking about? I don't know. But guys, just if you want to do something, don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not possible. You know what I'm saying? Their reality is their reality. You know, your reality is your reality. You can't hate someone for imposing their point, their perspective on your life. You can only take it with a grain of salt. You know, if you know that they're not in your position and they give you advice, all right, well, you gave me advice about some shit that you're not in my position. So it's like, you can't get mad at people, you know, like I've asked someone for podcast advice, and right when I asked him, I was like, well, this person doesn't have a podcast and he's probably going to give me like some random answer. And he gave me an answer that like, I kind of knew wasn't the answer I was looking for. And I was like, I can't get mad at him because he doesn't have a freaking podcast. He doesn't really know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can I get mad? So I was like, all right, but that's a learning. You got to put yourself in that position to be aware of that. Like, oh shit. Okay. Let me take my ego out of this. Let me figure out what the hell I'm doing, what the hell the situation is. It's hard. It's a process. It's a never ending process, but you're in there. We're in this freaking life thing together. Yeah. You might as well make it happen. You only got one life to live. You only got one time to make it happen. There's a lot of freaking craziness going on. You might not get a second chance. You know, you might get hit by a fucking car, knock on wood. You might get cancer, all these crazy things. Like good things happen to bad things happen to good people, you know? So you got to go make it happen before fucking that's the one thing. I don't want to have that regret. That feeling of regret is a terrible feeling, you know? And once you finally like beat up that feeling and you're like above that feeling, and every day you kick that feeling of regret in the face. Like it's like you're standing on a ladder, right? And regret's like, hey, maybe today we can just skip. No, we're not skipping that shit. Kick him in the face, right? Kick him in the face. Hell nah. But that's why you got to get a little bit of a routine. A daily routine really saves people. And then like me, now I'm in a little bit of a rut because I'm doing the same daily routine every day. You know, I'm healthy. I'm doing my shit. I got to challenge myself. So now I think I want to challenge myself with like running and maybe running faster and doing different things like that. So I got to figure out where I should be challenging myself and applying these new points of where I should be growing and the time I should be putting into growing and growth and stuff like that. So it's a never ending battle. Just the same thing. I try to tell my friends with diet. You know, some of my friends try to ask me for diet advice. It's a fucking never ending battle. Every day I wake up and I have to fight that diet monster, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, have some Cookie Crisps. Hell no, dog. I don't want no Cookie Crisps. But it's a never ending battle. That's life. Gonna come in, try to throw some Tony Ferguson uppercuts, and you gotta block that shit, bro. But that's just my little motivation. I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole. But yeah, I wanted to talk about, I saw something crazy about BMW. So BMW makes their own carbon fiber, right? So carbon fiber is a material that is used in place of steel, some sort of metal for cars, like I guess metal for boats and aluminum and different metals, right? Carbon fiber is, I believe it's made completely of like energy sources, right? You need a lot of energy to produce carbon, the carbon fiber material, whatever it may be. So I was looking into, BMW has a whole entire plant in Washington. I'll put a picture up right here. Hopefully it'll portray good, but it has a plant in Washington, a whole production facility where it has a massive energy water dam where it produces like enough energy where it like produces the entire company's carbon fiber. And BMW is one of the first companies, obviously, that like, you know, took over the whole carbon fiber look, the interior with the carbon fiber. You got the carbon fiber grill and the carbon fiber hood and stuff like that. I know a couple kids with BMWs that have like some carbon fiber stuff, which is pretty cool. So like learning like, oh damn, they got like a whole, and apparently it takes so much energy to make carbon fiber that they had to like go to like this crazy water place and make like a big ass dam. And the dam just creates like, but is dam water, that's like healthy energy, right? That's like natural energy, right? You just moving water just creates you just pick up the energy from it, transform it to electricity and some shit. And then next thing you know, your boy became Jefferson. What? Thomas Jefferson. Oh, I ruined the joke, but I forgot his name. Damn it. But I was like, yo, that's I was like, that's low key crazy. Like I've never seen it. I'm sure hella companies have like a windmill. I've thought about that, right? Like imagine like buying land, like doing your research. Literally, I'll give you guys maybe this may work. If one of you guys do this in the future, it may work. I don't know. You guys got to scour land for really windy territory, buy some land, convince the government or like the local state or the local community or some shit to build windmills on your land, and then you can sell the energy back to them, and it pays. I feel like that'd work. I literally just thought of that basically right now, but I feel like that would work. You're just like, I'm trying to buy this land. You guys want to put some stuff in? You pay for it to go in. I'll sell it back to you, and then we break even or something like that. Yo, that'd be pretty cool. And then you can own the land, right? You just build a little house on the land. You got the windmills in the back blowing. That'd be lit. Who knows if that's possible, right? Like imagine like buying like, I'm just trying to buy 10 acres for myself. You buy like a little bit of land, you're digging, maybe you're fishing or something, and you strike oil. I don't know how you would strike oil fishing, but if maybe you're digging, or I guess like some land preservers come out there. It's like, can we just check your land? We might have found something. And say, yeah, we found oil, sir. Can we buy your property for like $10 million? It's like, oh, I don't know if it works like that. They probably just lowball them, right? They probably screw up. I'm sure some people break the bank depending what state they live in, where it's like they really own that land and no government is allowed to take it. I don't know how it works, but I'm sure some landowners get so fucked over. The government just comes and takes their shit. It's like, we found oil on here, bro. Scram. That'd suck, bro. That'd suck. But yeah, I just found that really interesting that BMW had an entire plant, I think in Washington, which is interesting too. Like, where does BMW produce all their cars? I guess they have a production facility in America that makes their American cars. I guess that makes sense, but who knows, bro? Who knows? What do they fly cars or boat cars around and ship them? I don't know, bro. What do they do with cargo mainly? Do they mainly ship cargo from like ship like from like ports, or do they use planes and stuff? That'd be an interesting convo. Yo, I also was watching this Vice thing. Vice is like a weird organization, right? Like, you don't know, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're biased, like certain, I don't know. Vice is just a weird, they portray, I don't know, dude. Vice is just weird, but they do have some cool articles. I'll give them that. So one day I was watching their Australian rugby football. I mean, first off, I didn't even know Australia had some kind of football rugby type of thing. First off, nevertheless, did I know that it was the most popular sport in their entire country? That country. First off, did you know there's 24 million people in Australia? Only? I thought there was like a solid like 100 million people in Australia, right? Like 100 mil. We got like 100 million Australians fucking ready to take over the world. I don't know. But there's only 24 mil. I feel like that's so small. I have to give a shout out right now. If anyone's bored, there's a guy on YouTube. I don't know his name, like YBS. I don't know. I forget his name. But you might have seen him before. He's an Australian dude who literally just like, he has a dog, he has a boat, and he has like a jet ski. And he just like fishes and snorkels and spear fishes and hunts and lives on an island every once in a while and goes like rides his boat to the island and lives there, bro. His YouTube is so lit. Like, his content is so lit. Like, he's straight in the Australian reefs, just in the bluest water with, dude, sharks everywhere. I'll be honest. There's sharks everywhere. He's catching fish, spear fishing, lobsters. He's got a dog he's riding a jet ski. His dog's on his lap going to like a private island. Like, dude, it's lit. I'll be honest. He has one of the coolest YouTube channels I've ever seen. Just like Life Point. Like, damn, this guy's living life, bro. This guy's living life, dude. That shit is lit. But yeah, he's doing that. But Australia's crazy, bro. You got hella sharks out there, dog. You got hella sharks out there. But yeah, I was watching their football, and like, yeah, they have like a rugby. First off, they break hella bones, and they fuck it. It's like rugby, kind of like if like crazy Australian guys were playing. I think it's more I think it's more physical than regular rugby too. Could be wrong. I've seen rugby a lot at college. Isn't that interesting how college is like, rugby is like nothing. Like rugby is not real until you go to college and like, oh, people play rugby and shit. Like that's so weird, bro. Like all through high school, like rugby. What are we in England, bro? And then you go to a university the next year. It's like, oh yeah, I might play on the club team. It's like, yeah, my boy's playing on the rugby club team. But yeah, that's weird. I don't know why America does that. Universities, the institutions. But I was watching. I was watching some. It was crazy. Do you know who is? Let me read his name. Tony Mandarich. Tony Mandarich. I was watching some things about this guy. So this guy was the most hyped NFL prospect, offensive line ever. Offensive line NFL prospect, I think, in NCAA draft prospect, however you want to categorize it. He was the most hyped offensive lineman ever coming out of the draft, right? He was supposed to be like the Hulk, like the big Hulk, the bulk, all this guy. This guy was huge. Played at Michigan State. Literally, I think he was 6'6", 300 and something pounds. I think he was bigger than 6'6", 300 and something pounds. Ran a 4.62 bench press. He literally destroyed the combine. But excuse me. He got drafted with Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, and Derek Thomas. Let me just make sure all those people are correct. Yes, they are. All four of them Hall of Famers, right? This guy got drafted number 2. I think Troy Aikman was number 1. And then this guy got drafted number 2 to the Green Bay Packers, to the Cheeseheads, to the old Cheeseheads. Bro, this guy hacked the system, bro. So not only did he hold out for money, of course he held out for money. Of course he did. But he held out for money, one of the first people to really start holding out for money and try to, negotiate that shit. He started playing, and after his first season, he played like special teams, didn't really play that much, all that shit. After his first season, his next 2 seasons, he lost 40 pounds. He lost 40 pounds of muscle and literally became like ass, like less aggressive, like just wasn't good. Like he was like, bro, you're with all the Hall of Famers, you know what I'm saying? Like you get drafted, you're supposed to be the best offensive lineman prospect ever, bro. Like he's insane. And he literally like was taking steroids. Like he was taking all these steroids. He was taking actually a lot of shit. I was watching him explain all the steroids he was saying, but it sounded like he was taking like the horse steroid. I forget the name, but he was taking like horse steroids, and he was fucking massive. And it worked. It's pretty crazy how that shit works, right? It's pretty crazy how like this guy literally got huge as shit. He said he would be lifting, and like if he were to start taking like that the cycle, like within 3 days of taking like a cycle of steroids, something like that is what he would explain. One of you steroid heads unfortunately know what I'm talking about. But he was like, yeah, within like 3 days I was lifting 15% heavier than I was like 3 days prior. 15% is insane. 15% is insane. If you just keep going 15%, like that's crazy. So he went balls deep in steroids and this horse steroid and all this craziness. And he got drafted. He killed the combine. He got drafted. And he said he was scared. He basically was scared to try to beat the NFL drug test. He beat all the NCAA drug tests. I think he only got tested 5 times in the 5 years that he played at Michigan State. But bro, 5 times, 5 years, that's bullshit. And he said he cheated every single test. But yeah, he was scared to start. He was scared to follow that steroid use into the NFL, which is crazy, bro. This guy was just out, and it worked. Like the fact that it worked, like he was actually like putting up numbers, running fast. Like his long jump, I don't know exactly long jump shit. I don't really know that stuff, but his long jump was far. He jumped really far. Like they compared it to other people, and like he crushed. Dude, it was crazy. And like he just kind of stopped taking the steroids. Within 3 years, he lost 40 pounds of muscle, was not the same guy, was like less aggressive, scared and stuff. And it was, dude, apparently one of the biggest busts in NFL history. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I've never heard of this guy. Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, Troy Aikman, all these guys around this guy, all Hall of Famers. And this guy got drafted with him. And the NFL is scared to tell his story because they got scammed on him. Green Bay, like think about the Green Bay Packers though. Like as much as you think about organizations like screwing players over and like, oh bro, you're a billionaire. Like come on, like these players like change their life, stuff like that. Like this guy like scam. Like he might have gotten paid like $2, $3, $4, $5 million, whatever it may be for a year, 2-3 seasons, making 15 mil. I don't know, whatever it is. And he was ass. He was taking steroids. And he was booty, but he was actually like the steroids helped him. That's crazy. That's crazy. In all reality, the steroids probably just boosted his confidence. If you really think about it, like steroids probably helped him a little bit and then fully just boosted his confidence. Like, oh shit, these things are working. I'm a machine. So that's probably what happened, but I don't know, guys. Don't take steroids. Kids, don't take steroids. Let me see. Let me see if yeah, he was 6'6". I think he was 6'6". I feel like 6'6" isn't that big for like an offensive. Obviously, he's big, but when you compare him to like basketball players, you're like, well, excuse me, that guy's like 6'8". LeBron's like 6'8", bro. Jordan was like 6'6", right? The Last Dance. I didn't even watch it. I forgot yesterday was Sunday. Every day, dude. Every day I'm making YouTube videos, man. I'm trying to just work on the craft. But yeah, The Last Dance. I got to catch up on it. I think it was good. I heard it was good. They just talk about Jordan's greatness. Like Jordan, like his will to win was just something else. You know, you couldn't really compare it to anybody else. That's the one thing about him and LeBron. Like LeBron seems like more of like an altogether better person. Has his family a little bit. You know, really got like a home, kids. Jordan, like, you don't really hear none of that stuff. You know, he was so focused on winning. You know, obviously, I'm not knocking the guy. Come on, let's be real. But, yeah, it's just interesting to compare. But who really cares? We got to get some live sports. Like I said, guys, drop in the comments. You think live sports is coming back? Apparently NASCAR is starting in, I think NASCAR is starting in 2 weeks. I think golf has the potential to come back. Because if you think about it, golf, you just have a golfer and a caddy. And then you kind of just have all those golfers just walking the course. Basically social distancing at its own. And you just have the announcers, kind of referees. Nobody in the stands, nobody in the crowds. But, I mean, you need golf. Golfers make a lot of money. That's a big economy boost. We need to start boosting the economy. So we'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But guys, like I said, I'm training to run faster. If anybody, I'm low-key gonna have some people on. I have some people in mind who I'm gonna have on. Maybe a track athlete. I'm definitely gonna be having different college athletes on, just because not only is college athlete, you gotta respect the college athlete, getting the work done, working out, having different goals, trying to keep a family, not a family, but trying to keep a social life, stuff like that. It's hard. It is very difficult. So I'm the same age. So I'm very willing to have college athletes on, talk about, their experience, what college they go to, diets, exercise. That was one thing I gotta start picking these real exercise technicians' brains. I don't even know if that's a word. But yeah, I really got to start whipping up these guys' brains. I mean, like I said, the corona has been throwing this podcast a little bit for a loop. You know, we're trying to have some people on. I got to get another chair. Got to have some people on. But hope everybody is enjoying this podcast so far. If you could give this podcast a like and drop in the comments, comments always help your boy grow his channel. It just helps people, it helps YouTube, it helps the algorithm. So if you comment on this, I will comment back. Nah, but seriously, comments do help me, and it is very much appreciated. Guys, I really don't have much for this podcast. It's probably going to be a shorter one, 40-minute podcast. Like I said, I'm normally going to be posting 40, 50, 60-minute podcast, but I'm not going to be forcing minutes into the podcast. I don't want to sit here for like 3 hours and just like, oh, what is this kid talking about? If I have nothing to talk about, then it's different when you have another person too. Because when you have another person, you can find different avenues. So, bro, what was your childhood like? Shit like that. But I just want to give you guys a big heads up that this is not a solo podcast. This is a podcast that is made for the people and by the people. But seriously, this is I wanted to make this the title, the solo podcast, to let you guys know that this podcast is not normally going to be a solo podcast. You know, I tried to drop some motivation, but it's a lot better having some motivation when you have two people talking about motivation and two people that live what they're talking about, and give you a good perspective about that. So anybody listening, please take into consideration that this podcast will be having people on. And I'm just hoping the world doesn't end so I can, have some people, talk to some people, interact with some human beings. It has been about a month, a little over a month since we've really been locked in the crib. And I don't want to say I'm going insane, but I may or may not be going insane. Slowly and surely, very slowly and very surely, I may or may not be losing my marbles. But seriously, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please stay tuned for the Saturday morning podcast. This will be dropped. Today's Monday. It will be released on Tuesday morning. I'm hoping this podcast will be released either Monday night or Tuesday morning. But please stay tuned. Saturday morning podcast. We're coming at you with a full hour. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you all can chase whatever it is you want to chase today. Don't start tomorrow. Start today. Because if you keep saying tomorrow, it's always going to be tomorrow. That's what I got to say. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please stay healthy. Please stay safe. Take it easy, guys.